If you are doing no contact right now and want to get back with your ex, you have to watch this video because I'm going to explain you why it is so hard. And very often when we understand the mechanism, especially what's going on in your brain, and if you understand why it's so hard, it helps us make the right decision. Stop having any impulse and any craving to get in touch with your ex and therefore making dreadful mistakes, because the idea of no contact is to stick to no contact. Obviously, if you know my channel, you know that no contact on its own is not enough to get your ex back. No contact for years doesn't bring your ex back. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Before I start, because I always forget to introduce that, I put together a quiz and it took me a lot of effort to create this quiz, and the idea is to help you understand or help you answer the question, do you have any chance to get back with your ex? It's a quiz designed to answer this question in less than 2 minutes. We'll give you a scoring system. It's totally free. It takes 2 minutes. You have a link in the description, and at least you have an idea, sort of a grade, whether it's likely, not likely, or extremely likely that you guys will get back together. And you can follow the tips from this video, because this means that you can get back with him or her. So that was it. Also, because I always forget as well, if you like the video, don't hesitate to click on the like button. It does help me a lot. And you can also subscribe, because I post video on a regular basis, so if you don't want to miss anything. So, the breakup. Your ex took something away. Okay, that's a breakup. You had a relationship, they took the decision. The relationship, they took this away from you. What you've built, they took it away from you. Maybe you have project, maybe you were planning to go on holidays, to buy a house. They took that away from you. Your family, maybe you have kids, they took that away from you. So they're removing something. It's a little bit like they would pull the carpets underneath your feet. And it's when people describe breakups, or when people have this, we need to talk, you feel like completely lost in the space, completely like there's no floor underneath your feet. It's exactly the feeling that you have after the breakup. And analyzing this, I came to realize it's exactly the reverse of a honeymoon phase. It's exactly what you experience right now. Honeymoon phase is like this. You're there, and we're going to look at what's going on in your head, the chemicals in your brain, the neural pathways in your brain that's happening right now. So the chemistry of honeymoon. Honeymoon is passionate love. And passionate love is what we are looking after. In that passionate love is those shots of dopamine, the molecule that we created in our brain that activates not only happiness but the excitement, the novelty, the molecules that push us to do more, to go beyond our comfort zone sometimes. So the excitement, also the molecule projecting ourselves into the future. So this honeymoon phase is like, I want to have kids with that person. He's so amazing. Making prediction about the future, what would be the names of our children, where we would live, how would be our house, all these kind of future things. And obviously you get surprised along the way, because everything is new, and that's really the novelty. That's what we get when we have those shots of dopamine, is that novelty. It's exactly the same mechanism when you receive a notification on your phone. You get this shot of dopamine because it's something new and it excites you, right? So that's the honeymoon, that's the chemistry of honeymoon. Then there's the psychological aspect of honeymoon. Very often we idealize this partner. We are a bit in sort of ecstatic mode, where everything is amazing, like completely on drugs in a way, with a very much a distorted reality. We also feel that sometimes we have butterflies in our stomach, right? And so that's a new reality, because we're really high on drugs in a way, love being a drug. Okay, so that's the psychological honeymoon. These two aspects are very important, because these two aspects will actually explain how you feel right now. So reverse honeymoon, we discussed the psychology and the molecule. You are deprived of dopamine. Your partner took away that excitement from the relationship. He took away, even if you feel that your relationship was going downhill, whether you were too complacent, whether you didn't invest in the relationship, whether you felt, yes, towards the end we were sort of roommates, there was still excitement about being together, about doing new things, about, being in a relationship. And somehow, it's very frequent, we idealize our partner. Very frequently, because of the construct of them rejecting you, we sometimes, and I've been in that situation myself, we sometimes feel bad about ourselves. We lose our self-respect, our confidence, and we see our ex as someone on the pedestal, right? And so we have these two things going on, this lack of dopamine, because there's no interaction anymore, and this lack of confidence, this feeling of rejection that are created in terms of, and that creates that idealization of your partner. So very similar to a honeymoon phase, but the thing is, you're missing those things, right? And so the normal reaction, exactly the same as almost a drug addict, we have those withdrawal symptoms. It's really hard, I always struggle to say that word. We have those withdrawal symptoms. Let me know if I, in the comment section, if I pronounce this word correctly. And because you have this, you want to push to get your fix. You want to get your rush of dopamine. That's natural. You're missing something. You're going to fight for it because it feels great, right? You want to get close to this amazing partner. And your brain thinks, okay, this will make you feel better. You're sad because your ex decided to break up with you. Why don't you get that shot of dopamine? Why don't you get in front of your ex? Why don't you get those images? Because you're going to feel better. The reason you're sad is because they broke up with you, right? So what if I can, in some way, and we'll discuss the way, you can bring yourself back into the relationship. So that's when we become obsessed, basically, because we're ruminating on those thoughts. It could happen in our head. I'm not talking about necessarily breaking no contact, but when we think about this obsessive behavior, sometimes we look at the relationship like a detective. We were on this weekend, we were happy, he said this, or she said that, and we were having an amazing time, but he decided this, he decided that. Also the lack of contact. Very often, and you probably in that case, again, one of my the breakups I suffered. I couldn't sleep. Some people they lose appetite, or they are binge eating. Some people are unable to focus. They're really inefficient at work. And I have a lot of clients. One of the main reasons they hire me is because they're so unproductive at work that it's actually is a risk for their career and their job. And they think I'm going to invest in coaching because it's definitely 10 times the investment versus if I lose my job, because sometimes I have clients who are business owners and they can't work, they can't function, and they don't make money. So that's also the rationale sometimes why people want to seek for help, is really to accelerate the process and feeling better quickly. Because of course, with years, the way you feel right now, I don't know anyone who's still feeling heartbroken 10 years after a breakup. Some people, they still have this idea, this hope 10 years after, but it's not as intense. So of course, you can watch my videos, you can listen to tips online, and after a few years, you'll feel better. Of course, time will heal the wounds, of course. So I'm going to close this. But we have this fix-seeking behavior. I want my shot, my rush of dopamine. And so we sometimes justify ourselves with just oh yeah, but he just left something on my place, so I'm just going to check whether it's his t-shirt or whatever. Whether, oh yeah, I'm just checking my phone, but because I was checking my phone for other things, and then you start watching some of your pictures. Social media, oh yeah, but I received a notification, and we start justification of behavior where sometimes we become addictive. That's the problem you have nowadays with social media, is that it can bring you back to the relationship very quickly. In less than a second, you're back with this image of your ex, bringing you back to that pain, bringing you back to those moments, bringing you back to the breakup. And it's actually what prevents you from having a proper recovery. And of course, the other thing is I want to contact them because I feel if I speak with him or her, I will feel better. If I speak with him or her, I will be able to explain things. Now, the point you have to understand is I'm not saying you should do no contact forever. I don't agree with this school of thought about no contact forever, because sometimes people don't contact you just because there's so many reasons why they don't contact you. But it's very important for your own sanity, for your own mental health, for your own balance, for you to have a period of no contact. Because the craving you have right now of contacting them, this is what you have to really assess today. Do you want to contact them because you have a craving or because you want to reconnect with them? So be really mindful, because what you will get is a hangover. If you contact your ex too quickly, you get some form of assurance. You want to know, okay, does he still love me? Does he still interesting? The problem you have is 99% of the time when you write a message to your ex, you're always disappointed because they're not there. Their mindset is not there. They're not ready to talk. Probably they were hurt, or they feel that they're going to hurt you. They're not so sure. I often see that most cases that I have, people, they're not sure when they make the decision to break up with their partner. And so it's not like, speaking with them a week after, they will change their mind or they will completely be 100% sure. No. It takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of also your work to understand that they need that space, that you have to respect that space. Okay, it's very important. And what you're trying to do, trying to be reassured, is actually will not bring your ex back. So be aware of what you're after. Seeking comfort from that craving. So how do you feel about the breakup? You have to be in a state of mind when you break no contact where you feel almost as neutral as you haven't been with that person anymore. Is it about creating something new? The idea of relationship recovery is not about repairing, it's starting from scratch. The relationship is over. You have to grieve the relationship. It's over. Some relationship, and you wouldn't watch this video, you just have an argument, one walks away, and then after a week he walks back, say, okay, fuck it up, and discuss things out. If you're watching this video, I guess it's more complex than this, which means that you need a bit of time for each of you guys to reflect, for each of you guys to work on things that needs to be worked on. So the job is not to fix things because it's too late. Okay, probably your ex told you many times something. Probably you felt for months that something was wrong. And either you decided not to act, you failed, or you denied the fact that you were in complete denial to the fact that there was something wrong. But now it's too late. You are not with your ex anymore. And you have to accept this. And the question you have to ask and answer is about, why do you want to contact your ex? Do you want to confront him or her? Do you want to repair things? Or you just want to assess and build something new? It is fundamental, because if you're not able to understand and differentiate those two things, the way you will present yourself, the way you would communicate with your ex will have a negative or a positive impact, depending on where you're at. So when my clients are in touch with me, and I have a lot of clients, about 20 clients that I have on WhatsApp, and I help them communicating with their ex. And sometimes we break no contact, we decide, it has been enough time, we have signs from, social media or friends that it's more neutral. I know that they worked on themselves, they've learned a lot about their attachment style and what was wrong. And I know we can try to test things out. But when they do, they don't do it like, I have this craving, I need to contact them. No. They just do it because they're happy with their life now. They've managed to work on themselves and sometimes become the best version of themselves. But they contact the ex to say like, okay, let's see and assess where they're at. I'm not trying to win them back. I'm just trying to test the water and see where they're at. And then we build conversation, meetings, dates, and the idea is obviously to get them back together. But that's how we do it. It's not about repairing. It's not about filling a gap. There's no gap anymore. Okay, you've closed that chapter. You're ready to open a new one, and that's the mindset you have to adopt. I hope it makes sense. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.